Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kiki. Today's video is all about exactly how to get maximum weight loss with the Starch Solution. My last video on this topic had such a huge positive response. You guys told me that you finally understood what you were doing wrong on the Starch Solution or with your plant-based diet, and that video really helped you understand it and make it easy to apply. But since then, I've gotten a lot more questions. There's a lot of questions about what exactly to tweak, why don't you have to count calories, why aren't you restricting portions, that sort of thing. So I decided to make this video and share with you guys the 3 rules that you must follow to get maximum weight loss. And I'll answer all of your guys' questions after I do that. Okay, my life changed when I read the book, The Starch Solution by Dr. John Mcdougal. I was overweight. I was almost 70 pounds heavier than I am today. I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides. I was pre-diabetic, and I had a lot of female hormonal issues going on, as well as a lot of hormonal acne. But after I read this book and started implementing the diet change, all those things cleared up, and I am now almost 70 pounds lighter than I used to be. So in Dr. Mcdougal's book, he advocates a high starch, low fat, plant-based diet that is free from all oils. So when my husband and I started doing this, we jumped all in. We didn't do like a slow transition. We just jumped right in because I had a lot of health issues and I was feeling worse and worse. So we decided to just cold turkey jump all the way in. We cut out all the animal products. We got rid of all the oils, and we started eating a high starch, low fat diet. Now he does allow for some moderately processed foods, and we ate those. He allows for things like whole grain pastas, whole grain breads, whole grain cereals, whole grain tortillas, things like that that are processed but moderately processed. It's not like eating a Twinkie. So we did those things, and we both had a lot of weight loss happen. In about 2.5 to 3 months, my husband had lost about 45 pounds. Couldn't believe how fast it was coming off of him. It came off fast of me as well. In about 4 to 6 months, I had lost 35 pounds, and my blood pressure and cholesterol, all the things that I was concerned about, had completely cleared up, and I was in a completely normal zone. But I still had more weight to lose. Now my husband didn't have any more weight to lose, and he seemed pretty weight stable and was still eating the way he was eating when we first started, and so was I, but I was no longer losing weight. So since I needed to still lose weight, I went back to his book because I'd remembered seeing a page on maximum weight loss. And on page 216 and 217, he outlines what to do here to achieve maximum weight loss. And he tells you to make sure you are completely oil-free, and now taking it a step further to make sure you have cut out all fatty plant foods. So whereas I was having in moderation avocados and nuts and seeds and making like nut cheeses to have on our vegetables, I cut all of those out. He also says to eat whole foods only. So cut out all processed foods, don't use any flours or things like that. So I started doing that. I cut out all flours and processed foods that we had been having, because I was eating cereal and pasta and a lot of whole grain bread. So I cut all those things out and stuck to whole foods like potatoes, rice, beans, things like that. Then the most helpful tool is on page 217, and this is where he outlines exactly how to serve yourself every time you go to eat. So he basically has a picture of a plate that is split in half, and I like to call it the 50-50 plate. So half of the plate is going to be full of your starches of choice, and then the other half of the plate is going to be full of non-starchy vegetables. So every time I went to serve myself, including at breakfast, I would take my plate and just, draw an imaginary line down the middle, and I would fill half of the plate with non-starchy vegetables like steamed broccoli or cabbage. You guys see that I eat cabbage at breakfast because I just love it. You don't have to eat cabbage. You can eat any vegetable that you like, but I just really like steamed cabbage. So I would fill half the plate with steamed cabbage, and then the other half with my starch of choice, which is usually like oatmeal or sweet potatoes, and then I would eat that. He says you can have fruit for dessert and water for your beverage. And that's all I did, guys, is I just stuck to eating real whole food, and I always split my plate in half and made sure I have non-starchy veggies and my starches. And anytime I went to get seconds or thirds, I would just do the same thing over. Now, if I snack, I have vegetables with oil-free hummus or oil-free refried beans, or I'll have some fruit. For dessert at night, I really enjoy having some frozen fruit. But that's it. It's a super simple diet, and that is how I got the rest of the weight off. I didn't have to count calories or worry about it. It just started melting off. Now, my husband does not eat as whole as I do because he gets too skinny. So he still needs to have some flours like breads and cereals and tortillas in his life, or he just gets skinnier than he wants to. Now I have incorporated back the moderate use of avocados and some nuts and seeds and cheese sauces that I make that have some cashews in them, but I don't overdo it, because if I do overdo it, my skin starts to break out and I do start to put on weight. Now, I told you guys I was gonna share with you the 3 magic rules for maximum weight loss on the Starch Solution. Now, I'm not sharing any new information with you. I didn't come up with this solution. This is all from Dr. Mcdougal's books and from listening to Dr. Doug Lisle and Jeff Novich that teach at his medical center. I have just pulled it together and am making it easier for you guys to understand and apply in your own lives the way I did in mine, so that you guys can have the same success. Okay, so the 3 rules for maximum weight loss. Number 1, absolutely no oils and no plant fats, like avocados, nuts, seeds, nut butters, soy products like tofu or tempeh. They can be pretty high in fat and calories. My experience was that even having a little bit, my body was just not gonna let go of weight until I cut those things out for weight loss. Now, once you've gotten down to the weight you want to be at, you can slowly start reintroducing those foods, and your body will tell you when you're having too much, because you'll start to put on weight. I enjoy a little bit of avocado, a little bit of nuts and seeds here and there. If I have too much, my skin is the first place that starts to react. I start breaking out, and then I know, okay, I need to back off. But like Dr. Mcdougal says, that literally the fat you eat is the fat you wear. Our bodies don't like to burn fat for energy, they like to store it. So during weight loss, rule number 1 is absolutely no plant fats and never ever any oils. Rule number 2 is whole plant foods only. So that means you're gonna be eating food the way it's grown in nature. You don't want it to have a barcode or have any food that's gone through a processing plant, nothing processed. So no cereals, baked goods, breads, things like that. You want to eat the whole food the way it's grown in nature. So lots of white potatoes, sweet potatoes, beans, peas, lentils, every kind of vegetable and fruit that there is out there. There's lots to eat, but whole foods only. They're full of nutrients, they have less calories, and they've got a ton of fiber and bulk, which help fill you up and keep you fuller longer. So rule number 3 is going to be the number 1 most useful tool for all of this. This is how you're going to be able to make sure that you can continue to get the weight off that you need to get off. So rule number 3 is serve yourself correctly. This is where all the success happens. So like I showed you on page 216 and 217 of the Starch Solution, Dr. Mcdougal showed you the plate that was split in half, and I call that the 50-50 plate. But there's actually 3 ways to serve yourself, and I'm gonna go over that now. Okay, so in Dr. Mcdougal's book, The Mcdougal Program for Maximum Weight Loss, on page 73, he has a section called Balancing Your Meals for Weight Loss, and he gives you 3 options for how to serve yourself for weight loss. He doesn't have a diagram. I've made these diagrams to make it more helpful to you. So I'm gonna pop those up to help you guys understand what I'm talking about. Plate number 1 is for moderate weight loss, or what Dr. Mcdougal calls moderate weight loss. And that is where he recommends serving yourself with 1/3 vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, and then 2/3 of your plate starchy vegetables. Now, this is pretty much how my husband eats. He has way more starch than he does vegetables, but he is a thinner set guy. If he starts eating more vegetables, he starts losing more weight, and he doesn't personally want to lose any more weight. So if you're looking for moderate weight loss, then plate number 1 is a good place to start. So plate number 2 is for what Dr. Mcdougal calls rapid weight loss, and that's the 50-50 plate. That is how I ate to lose all the weight, and that's how I pretty much for the most part continue to eat, and I maintain my weight just fine eating this way. So plate number 3 is what Dr. Mcdougal calls hasty weight loss. And that plate, you serve yourself with 2/3 non-starchy vegetables and then only 1/3 starchy vegetables, which I agree with Dr. Mcdougal. I feel like that is a little hasty. I personally would be very sad if I was only having like a little bit of starch. He also warns in his books not to just jump into plate number 3 because enjoyment and satisfaction are a huge part of this journey. You don't want to feel completely deprived and starving all the time. So definitely take care if you think you want to go down to plate number 3. So what plate should you start with? I would say that if you are 20 to 30 pounds or more overweight, then you should start with plate number 1, which is a moderate weight loss, and serve yourself 2/3 starch, 1/3 vegetables, and see how your weight loss goes. I would do that until you stop losing weight. Once you stop losing weight on that plate, then I would go down to the 50-50 plate. And then I think most people do great on the 50-50 plate from what I understand of the material I've read, that most people can just live there and be just fine. Now, I do get a lot of messages from you guys where some of you tell me that, you know, you're just trying to lose the last 3 to 5 pounds and you're trying the 50-50 plate and it's just not budging. And my first observation is that usually these people that are trying to lose the last couple pounds don't actually need to lose any weight. They're already in a healthy weight range. They're just trying to lose a couple more pounds for whatever, how you look. You want to look just a little bit better in your own mind, and that's your business. So my thing is that I didn't want to eat less than 50% starch, so I'm not willing to try and lose 5 more pounds. If you are trying to lose those last couple pounds, which are going to be a lot harder to lose because you're already at a lot thinner place, you can try plate number 3 and see how it goes. And if you're just hating life, I would not stay there. I would just move back up to the 50-50 plate. So like I said, most of us are gonna be in the 50-50 range. If you get down and you're still just trying to lose a couple more pounds, and if you've been at the 50-50 plate and it's not budging, you can always try going down to plate number 3 and seeing how you do. So most of the questions that I get from people are, do I count calories? And I don't. You don't have to count calories when you're eating whole foods that are low in fat because they're already so low in calories. You will be eating a ton more food. People are always astonished by how much I eat. I eat 3-4 platefuls of food. I like to eat. I like to feel really full. So do be aware of the fact that you are going to be consuming a lot more than you normally consume. And that's okay. Don't go hungry. People ask me, how many plates exactly do I have of everything? I have no idea. It changes every day from meal to meal. It's not about how much you can have of something. It's just about serving yourself correctly. And every time you go back for seconds or thirds, serve yourself the same way. And always to eat your veggies first. Because if you don't eat your veggies first, if you get full on starch, then you're never gonna consume your veggies. So always eat your veggies first. So when people message me and tell me, you know, that the scale just isn't moving, you know, they don't know what to do, it's either 1, they haven't cut out fat and processed foods, or 2, they're already in a healthy weight range. The more you weigh, the faster you're gonna lose weight. The less you weigh, the slower you're gonna lose weight. Also, if you're already in a healthy weight range, you know, either make your peace with it and love where you are and celebrate the fact that you're not overweight, or again, stick to the 3 rules and choose the right plate for you. And when it comes to building your meals, guys, keep it simple. And I mean simple. Like, When I first read the maximum weight loss section, he says right here to eat a simple meal plan, things like sweet potatoes and broccoli, rice, beans, and starchy vegetables. Literally, like, I do not recipe cook anymore. When I moved to the maximum weight loss portion of the Starch Solution, I was so burnt out on all the recipe cooking. It was expensive, it was time consuming, and I was just done. So when I started moving to a whole food, super simple meal plan, that's where literally all the success happened. Make sure you check out my Starch Solution meals for maximum weight loss videos. I show you guys a full day of meals for myself so you can see just how easy it is to eat this way and be successful with regaining your health and losing the weight that you need to lose. And if you're still worried about why you don't have to count calories on this, or if you're gonna gain weight, I really recommend you guys watch the video on calorie density that I'm going to link for you guys by Jeff Novich in the description box, and also watch How to Lose Weight Without Losing Your Mind by Dr. Doug Lisle. Those two lectures will absolutely clear up any questions you have about calorie counting or portion control and why you don't have to do it when you're eating this way. So again, I will link those in the description box below. Make sure you check them out, put yourself at ease, and eat the food. So that's it, guys. It's really easy. It's not about self-discipline. People ask me all the time, how do you stay self-disciplined? And it really has nothing to do with self-discipline. For me, it has to do more with just wanting to be healthy and not wanting to go back to feeling as awful as I felt and having all the health issues I had. I don't want to have hormonal cystic acne again. I don't want to have high blood pressure and high cholesterol. I don't want to be overweight. So for me, it's really just about when you're craving the things that are bad for you, just reminding yourself that those aren't foods that are good for you, that this is real whole food and it will do the work for you if you just consume it. All right, guys, so I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments what other questions you have. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Plentiful Kiki and on Facebook at the Plentiful Kiki page. I'm always sharing my meals there as well as other lifestyle inspiration. Remember to keep this journey about health and not just about the skinny. You are beautiful. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.